Well, welcome everyone. I'm Billy Riggs, professor of management at the University of San Francisco, and this is our annual Autonomous Vehicles and the City Conference.
I'm Dean Charles Moses, and I couldn't be prouder to have the University of San Francisco School of Management host this event featuring innovative cities and companies who are exploring automated solutions for the future of sustainable and socially just cities.
My name is Pete Hoig. I'm co-founder of Atmos. For those of you that don't know us, Atmos is the world's most climate positive banking platform. 100% of all deposits placed with Atmos fund climate positive infrastructure to accelerate the transition to the clean economy.
First, how can we advance social equity in an autonomous vehicle world? The implementation model and approach to pricing we pursue need to be purposefully considered to ensure that we aren't leaving segments of the population behind, and that the technological advances serve to close the mobility and accessibility gap, not widen it.
SHAO stands for Shared Automation Operating Models for Worldwide Adoption. It's all about deploying AVs, like shared AVs, like something very important. And I guess coming already to to the introductions that Hilary made, we come to this social equity aspect that's very important for UITP, being an association for public transport, that we integrate automated mobility within public transport, within shared mobility. You need to have this mindset really to see that what is the interest of each type of partner. So of course we have industries, they have business models, they have their own interest. And you have, for example, academia, they want to publish papers. You have all this type of different interests working in the project. And this type of project can leverage on that. So it's many cities have this agenda to say, okay, let's have more public transport, more green areas, more place in the city and so on. And I think that's something we can really learn from all these cities.
Networks that we analyze, we think we can generally find between 30 and 50% efficiencies, either by introducing bigger vehicles, by changing the routes, changing the schedules.
Transit systems across the world are looking to use big data to improve their services. And Go Metro now maps in Argentina, Kenya, Mexico, the USA, and India, to name but a few, helping less formal networks take steps towards official recognition.
But we're hoping that new electric vehicles, new technologies, and automation is going to play a role in bringing accessible mobility to everyone, bringing electric vehicles into this market, which is quite exciting. But that comes with challenges with regards to brake pad wear, tire wear, and a totally different maintenance regime to what we currently have with diesel and petrol vehicles. And so driver assist with regards to identifying and helping drivers drive more smoothly, not press on that brake or accelerate so hard, is going to have an opportunity to optimize. And then working with regards to collision detection systems, driver safety. Let's be clear, on Africa's roads, we still have 1 million too many road deaths a year than what we want to see, in emerging markets. And so I think there's a huge role in driver assist and driver safety technologies to play in the public transit sector to reduce road deaths and road accidents.
The Biden-Harris administration has the Justice 40 initiative, and that aims to deliver 40% of the overall benefits of federal investments in climate and sustainable transportation to disadvantaged communities. There are a lot of different concepts being explored, and when I talk about transit bus automation, I'm talking about all of these ideas and more than these ideas. So we're not just talking about a 40-foot transit bus, very open to what this could mean in the future. The main thing is that it would be a vehicle used in public transportation with the ability to share.
I love that you are focused on kind of opportunities to reinvent the vehicle, and that the Secretary Buttigieg is really behind this. It's actually really fantastic. We have heard in the past from a lot of people in the robotics space, and it's almost like we need to figure out how we keep the human aspects of the vehicle. And the question is there a technology fix for that?
As a quick context, Smart Car is an API for cars. We are a startup based in Mountain View, California. We were founded in 2015. Going back to our starting mission statement at Smart Car, our goal at Smart Car has been from day one to really empower developers to build the future mobility. And what we've done is really provide a set of really friendly APIs that software developers within mobility companies can utilize to connect their apps to cars. And we are now serving a variety of different industries, from companies that are building car sharing products, pay by the mile insurance products, smart EV charging products, and of course, even a road usage charge program. And what's really exciting about this new technology is that through entirely just a couple lines of code on your computer, you're able to unlock the car in your driveway by sending a couple lines of code on your terminal. You can have a Ford F-150 in your driveway that you just brought home from a dealership without needing to modify it in any way, without needing to install any aftermarket hardware, without needing to tweak it. You're able to use our technology to get its location, its fuel tank level, unlock the doors. And today, there's now 72 million cars that are on the road in the United States, roughly 1 in 3 cars in the United States that are compatible with the Smart Car API out of the box. And this has started to create a massive ecosystem of connected services or applications around vehicles that weren't really possible before due to the fact of the platform now becoming available. So when we started the company, again, we started off as software developers trying to go build an app for a car. But within a few months of starting the company, the state of California, Department of Transportation, ended up putting out a pilot program to start evaluating how to tax drivers as the world moves to electric vehicles. And the state of California actually became one of our very first customers, which is really rare for a venture-backed startup. And this is an important necessity as we look ahead into the next 5 to 10 years as the inevitable transition that we'll need to make away from the gasoline tax to a miles-based taxation system. And due to the fact that it's entirely a software-based solution, we've been really excited about the fact that we're able to keep that administration cost incredibly low for the state DOTs. And with very low administration costs, every dollar collected in taxes is able to go back to actual infrastructure needs as opposed to administrative technologies.
And it's also a really important point where I think that you're really trying to repair a lot of trust that's been broken.
What we rather believe is that if you own a car and how you drive that car, where you drive that car, how your car is performing, that's your information. It's not something that Smart Car should have access to, or any third party like your insurance company or car rental company. No one should ever have access to this. But what we do believe is that you should have the ability to choose to use the applications you want. And just like when you install an application on your smartphone, it may ask you, I want permission to your location. And you can choose to give it access to that, or to your camera roll or your contact lists. And it's the same thing for cars, in our opinion. Your insurance company shouldn't be able to just come by some information about your driving habits without your involvement or understanding. But if you voluntarily choose that, hey, I may get a better rate, so I'm fine sharing just my odometer reading value with my insurance company, and you have that transparency, you have that control, that's the right decision. And that's the right way, in our opinion, to tackle this problem.
Jumping back 100 years, in the early 20th century, we ushered in the age of the automobile. We responded by transforming our cities to accommodate this new technology, and forgot that first and foremost, we need to plan our cities for people. We have an opportunity now, 100 years later. I went and checked on kind of Ford and automation and his assembly line process, and it was right there about 100 years ago. And we have this opportunity to re-envision our urban environments and to create places for people and ensure that the advances in automotive technology today and in the future are implemented to reap the benefits for all while minimizing harm. And autonomous vehicles have this potential to become a radically different model of ownership. So what happens to our cities, our homes, our travel patterns, if instead of owning a vehicle outright, we own access to a shared fleet, some model like that? Traditional transit systems themselves are going to benefit from the development of autonomous technology, which can then be incorporated into new bus designs, operations, things like that. And then there's opportunities for how we integrate our transit system with other autonomous vehicle modes, such as shuttles or shared vehicles. So how can we create a pricing framework that encourages high occupancy, high efficiency, sustainable models, disincentivize single occupancy, low efficiency models? Can we look for pricing strategies that reduce VMT, minimize congestion, manage curbside activity?
Encapsulated everything in a way that I think really hit on all the highlights. And I think, focused on the human space, but also the space for collaboration. And that's what I've always envisioned that this event was, this space where we can have those complex dialogues between government and between the private sector and really work towards these optimal outcomes.